The 28th of September 2011, a man named Mr Cohen went for a swim at Fishhook in the Cape. And he got attacked by a great white shark, and he lost his right leg and his left foot. It was a tragic story all round. But it was made even more remarkable, and the reason I noticed the story was for these reasons. Mr Cohen was an accountant, a British man, who had lived and worked in Cape Town for a long time. In other words, he was a logical thinking man. He went swimming often at the beach, but on this particular day, the beach was closed. No one else was swimming. The white flag that shows that there's sharks in the water had been raised on the beach, and Mr Cohen, seeing the flag, decided to start undressing to go for a swim anyway. The shark spotters up on the hills had 90 minutes earlier spotted 3 great white sharks in the water. Hence, the flag was raised. And one of these men went up to Mr Cohen while he was getting ready to swim and said, "Sir, we have just seen sharks in that water." Mr Cohen decided to swim nevertheless, and got lost his right leg and his left foot because of those great white sharks. And the people who had warned him ended up being the people rescuing him out of the water again, at risk of their own lives. What would you say about a man like Mr Cohen going swimming in a shark-infested beach with all of those warnings? Oh, there's an accountant for you. I'd like to suggest to you that the story of eternity is comparable to the story of Mr Cohen, is that most countries, most languages, right around the world, there is a book written with the story of what hell is like. The flag has been raised on many street corners in most cities in the world. I know there's some where the church meets underground, but in many cities in the world, there are churches on every corner. A whole lot of flaws in our churches. That's a given. There's no perfect church. Everyone with weaknesses. And yet all of these churches function as message carriers about eternity to a greater or lesser degree. God, the judge, doesn't just leave it up to a book and the church. He himself comes in person, walking up and down the beaches, that time in Galilee. But if you like, for all the hundreds of years of human history, walking up and down the beaches of mankind, warning men and women directly by the prompting of the heart that eternity awaits. Ecclesiastes says God has set eternity into the hearts of men. And Jesus Christ comes to earth. He himself takes the punishment for sin. He, pushing Mr Cohen out the way, dives into the shark-infested water, and his bloodied body is crushed because of people like you and I. What then would you say if Mr Cohen, seeing that great sacrifice, decided, I'm going to swim in these shark-infested waters anyway? Thank you, but no thanks. This is the reason Christ tells these stories. I don't think he's just trying to frighten the hell out of people. I think he's trying to show them the extent of his love, rescuing people from the flames.